Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Fragments with me, Lewis. In today's episode, I'm going to speak to you a little bit about what I did on my retreat, specifically how I would spend my days. And if you manage to sit through this video to the end, I'm going to do something a bit different to conclude at the end, and I'd like you all to let me know what you thought of that. In regards to everything that I got up to on the retreat, I could expound and expand for a long time on each thing. But from feedback from you all and from my own understanding, it seems that shorter, more concise vlog episodes are better for everyone, rather than long drawn out ones. So if you're interested in anything that I touch upon, feel free to send me a message or to comment, and then I can expand in a separate video. But this one I just want to keep concise about what I got up to. So the first thing that I did, which stayed throughout the whole retreat, was to live with certain austerities. And the first of those, which I mentioned in the last video, why go on a retreat, the first one was to get rid of the phone, because right away, by getting rid of the phone, you reduce the amount of inputs that you're receiving right away. You know, phone's gone, that's a whole load of inputs that you're not receiving, negative or positive. That is, it's neither here nor there, but you're not receiving those. The second was in regards the lodging and the setting. It was very simple, and at the time of year I went, it was very cold. So again, this helps you to feel alive. You know, you're cold. You can feel your body. Cold feet. You know, you got to put the heater on to get the warmth. And the third aspect of these austerities was very little natural and simple food. I think I only cooked on the second day. I made myself some soup with a fire, which was a very nice process. You know, make a fire, boiled some water, and cooked a can of soup, and that whole process was quite enjoyable to see how without the material progress that we've had to make a hot meal, it takes quite a while. You know, I didn't expect it to take as long as it did, but it tasted all the more better when I got round to eating it. And the rest of the food was natural fruits and just very simple foods, you know, just in order to stay alive. That's in ancient times, that's why we would eat to maintain our life, whereas now it's more for the tongue pleasure. You know, it makes us feel good, it tastes good, and all these things in place. A huge aspect of my life for many years now has been mindfulness, to be mindful in everything that you're doing. And by going on a retreat, by reducing the amount of influences that you receive, and with the attitude in mind to be more mindful, it's more possible, and it's easier to discern when you're not being mindful, when you're lost in your thoughts. It's easier to catch and see it. And for an example, the opposite of being mindful, to bring an example from the hypnotherapy literature, would be what's called the highway trance. So this is a hypnotherapeutic example, which you and me and everyone has probably experienced at some stage. And it comes about when you drive the same route each day to work, or a regular route to your friend's house, a route that doesn't require very much concentration, like where am I, what road do I need to take, where is the location. You've done it 100 times, so you know. And so you switch off, and the mind will wander and start daydreaming about everything, just everything. And then you arrive at your destination, and you think, I'm here. I can't remember the journey. And for some of us, this happens often. For others, not so much. And everywhere there's a scale, But I'm sure you've noticed it. Whether it's walking somewhere or driving somewhere, you arrive and you think, can't remember the journey. So that would be called the highway trance, and that's the polar opposite of mindfulness. If you are mindful driving, you would be aware of your hands on the steering wheel. I'm aware that I'm changing gear. I'm aware there's a little kid playing with his ball over there. I'm aware, oh, look at that lovely house. So you're aware of everything, compared to the highway trance, when you're unaware and you're almost like a zombie, really, because you're lost in your thoughts. You're not aware of anything. And so being on retreat helps you to intensify your mindfulness practice. And certain things that have grown out of my mindfulness practice, by continuing to look into mindfulness, certain things would come up regularly, and I've decided to investigate a lot of them. And these consist simply of prayer, study, and meditation. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to go in to every type of prayer and all the different sorts of things to study and all the different types of meditation. But my time on the retreat consisted of regular prayers and studies and meditations. And I have my specific types that I perform. And I advise you, if you're interested, that you can look into all of these things, send me a message and I can point you in the right direction. And all of these together would constitute one's spiritual practice. So your spiritual studies, your prayers, and your meditations. And there's a lovely Greek word for it, which is ascesis. So, they help to be more spiritual, more mindful. My relationship to these things has grown a great deal over the last few years. It's not something that occurred, just woke up one morning, and, oh, I need to start praying. I need to start meditating. I've got to start reading spiritual and religious books. That I don't think that's how it works for anyone. Maybe if you have some epiphany or spiritual dream. But most people, they read a book and it takes them down an avenue, even a rabbit hole, like I mentioned when I was talking about how Fragments of Fragments started. There's a video, a vlog that you can watch about this. It takes you down a rabbit hole, and some people, they get to a certain point and they get a bit sketched out, a bit scared. Where's this taking me? Where am I going? For me, whether it be good or bad, I just kept marching whole hog. Luckily, I had some good friends and teachers close to me that could help. And then obviously, after all of this, 2 nights, maybe a full day and an afternoon and a morning. So arrived on Monday afternoon, Monday night, all day Tuesday, Tuesday night, and Wednesday morning till about midday. This is all I did. Like in a routine, if you like. I would meditate, which consisted of my ascesis, my prayer and meditation and other exercises. I would study. I took, I've got it up here, Plato's Timaeus, which is Plato's creation myth, like the book of Genesis, which was pretty profound reading, perfect for the for my setting that I was in. And then I would make some notes or journal, or just sit nice and sort of meditation, but just sit for a while. And yeah, lots of thoughts would come, lots of ideas, contemplations. So yeah, all of this together, this is pretty much just the gist of what I got up to, without going into too much detail for hours and hours. So in the next episode, I'm going to share a certain experience that I had, and it occurred at this moment when I decided the retreat was over, when I felt my energy being pulled back to my family, my wife and children, and home. And then I was it's finished. It's time to go home now. I'll save what happened for the next episode, but obviously, unless you want to become a monk, you can't be on retreat forever. So what I tried to do was to take everything I'd learned and the nice stillness and peace that I had attained on the retreat, and I tried to take it home with me. The first 3 or 4 days, I managed to maintain it. Now it's a good few weeks after, and I'll be honest with you, life, I shared in one of the videos the life with the vessel with salt in. At the end of the retreat, the salt had sunk to the bottom, and I was zen, I was in peace. But now it's all up again. So my wife isn't quite ready to let me go on another retreat yet, and so I have to do what I can in the mornings and the evenings, and with my mindfulness practice throughout the day, and be patient. And when the time comes when I can have another night or 2 nights, then I can do that. And the last thing that I'm going to do today is to a part of the retreat also that I would do was I took quite a lot of pictures, and specifically as I came out of the camping pod, the cabin, I would stand and take a picture of the view from the door or the porch of the camping pod. And I took one as I arrived, and then I found myself like taking them regularly. So I'm able to create a nice montage of the changing sky, the Tuesday morning when I woke up, how the day progressed through Tuesday morning and afternoon, which was a bit grey and overcast, and then Wednesday morning the sky was beautiful and clear. And to not get too esoteric, the Buddha would say, as you think, therefore is how it is, or something similar to that. And maybe it was a reflection of how my mind was, overcast and distracted and busy on the Tuesday as all the salt was settling, and then the Wednesday morning it was beautiful and clear. You can read into that what you like. But what I will do for you now is I'm going to share a simple piece of music on top of this imagery, and you can see it as a sort of not quite meditation, but like an exercise in concentration, just to watch and listen, and then see where your mind goes. So here is a short exercise. You can call it meditation, you can call it concentration practice, you call it whatever you want really, but what I would say for you to do is to just take a few deep breaths to begin. Try and just relax. A few deep breaths, 3 or 4. Relax, clear your mind as best you can. Then just concentrate on the music and the imagery, but sort of split your attention. So half of your attention should be on the imagery and the music, and the other half should be trying to observe what happens with your mind. And probably 1 or 2 things will occur. Your mind will still and become calm, or your mind will start racing more than normal. So try and be observant of that. And if you experience anything interesting, yeah, be sure to add a comment or let me know. So here it is. So there we have it, episode 3 of 4. In the next episode, I'll share this experience that I had right at the end. For now, that's what I did on my retreat. And you can take any of those things that I mentioned, you can bring them into your daily life. You can read up about them, you can look into them, you can send me a message, and I'll help you as best I can, point you in the right direction. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe. And yeah, the next episode will be about my experience, and then I'm gonna maybe take a different direction for a few episodes just to mix it up a bit. But thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and be good, and I'll see you next time. Bye.